Old Souls? I'm Cherry T with Old Soul Factory, here to provide you with another crochet YouTube video. That sounded like really cringy for some reason. Anyways, this weekend we have our first anime fest. Me and my mom, Stacy, makes over here on YouTube as well. You can go check out her channel. She's prepped for this as well. She's gonna have a market vlog video probably come out before me because of the timing of our videos are different. But anyways, go check her out and everything. I've been prepping for this market for a while, been talking about it so much, but I went through all of my inventory in the last video on exactly what I'm bringing, what I have prepped, and all of that stuff. I wanted to add, before we got to the actual market though, what I've made since then, because like I said, I was finishing up a few other small whips, some other little things that I wanted to get done before the market and finish up, because they just needed like a few little things before I could actually tag them. In the last video, I said I had $2,317 of inventory for this market technically. Again, we're not bringing like all of it though, so I need to like decide. I think we're gonna bring all of it, but we're gonna leave some of it like out in the car and kind of divide what's actually niche and made for this market. And then worst case scenario, our car will be close by. We can run out there and grab another plushie bag and restock our booth if we need to. So all of this inventory will be going with us, but all of this inventory won't be displayed at the same time. So it's kind of hard to like give you an actual amount of what will be on the table though. But I will try to get a guesstimate of exactly what gets on the table and stuff too as we get into the video. But I made $85 more worth of inventory. I'll show you that really quickly. Again, I finished up the scrappy yellow bucket hat as well for the last video. Super cute. I had like 4 different skeins of yellows, so I just finished this hat up with those. And then I alternated this like variegated key lime color and this lime color to finish up this bucket hat. I added the tags, sewed it up, and all of that jazz. And then my Minecraft bee was also needing to be tagged and was not included in that count, and my mini bee was not included in that count, and I added his little face. So he's so stinking adorable. I love him so much. Let me know if you want a pattern for either of these two. I'm contemplating it. I don't know if anybody would be interested in something like this, but again, I think they're really adorable. If I work on any more plushies, it'll probably be these, but I really still want to finish my little cardigan greeny stitch pullover, so I'm still kind of working on that. So with those 4 items added and everything to my total, I will now have $2,402 worth of inventory that I will be officially bringing to this market. I'm very excited. I've got my banner packed up. I've got all of my plushie totes ready to go. I just need to put these out there in the main bag with everything else, and then we will head out in the morning. I'm so excited about this. The plan is to get there super early in the morning. I think the gates open at 7 o'clock, I think is the earliest we can get there. So I think we're going to leave here around like a little after 6-ish. So we'll hopefully have around an hour and a half to 2 hours to set up, give or take. It's all kind of up in the air because we don't know how far away parking will be, how hard it'll be to find our spots and stuff. So I'll have to keep you updated on all of that, because again, this market's completely new and out of our comfort zone. So it'll be a lot of vlogging, hopefully, to fill you in on all those details. But we are going to be setting everything up as efficiently as possible. We're gonna have backup options for everything in case something doesn't work out in our minds like we were hoping for, yada yada. Super excited about it, super excited for our niche little inventory and all of our plushies to be together. I'm honestly really excited to see what my mom's made. I know that I watch her videos and stop by and talk to her a lot, but she moves her inventory out of her like crochet room like downstairs with the rest of her inventory that she already has made like every single week, and sometimes I don't get to go over there every single week. So even I don't know exactly what she's bringing, but I do watch her videos and stuff, so I have a pretty good idea. But I'm excited to see them all in person and see how big her dragons ended up being compared to some that I made and stuff. So it'll be a fun experience, and I'm really excited for this weekend. with that in mind, stay tuned to see how much I ended up selling this weekend. Tell me which one your favorite item is that we end up setting up for. I'll try to show you some other behind the scenes, like some other booths and like the atmosphere and everything for this market in general, because I'm really excited about it and really excited to see the turnout here. So stay tuned for some more information on this market, and let's hop into this market video. Prepping before the market, doing some research. It's market day! We have everything packed up back there, as you can see. We just went in, we checked in. Mama Stacy's here. I didn't know she wanted to be on camera yet. We're all checked in and everything. It's gonna be exciting. We looked at the map and stuff. There's actually a lot more people there than I thought there was gonna be. But we're just in a hotel event lobby room, which will be exciting. And it's nice and cool outside, so hopefully it won't get too hot in there either. So my hair is kind of already feeling it, but it's fine. So we're gonna unpack and everything, and then we are going to get ready for today. Wish us luck. Setting up. We're here, we're set up. Let's show you the booth. Okay, so here it is. Here's the venue for today. Honestly, it's like pretty cool in here. I like the ceilings, the LED lights, but our booth, whenever you walk up, has got a lot going on because we were trying to fit so much into such a small space, because again, we're not used to this. So I have our backpacks and keychains, my hats. We got the Luffy bucket hat on top and the little $10 mushy boys with the bucket hats as well. We have mini cats, big cats, characters, lots of snakes. Mom's emotional support chicken nuggets because we always sell these everywhere we go. Hamsters, axolotls, $12 bin items, $5 bin items, $8 bin. And look, Mom made these cute little Junimos. They're so cute. They're so precious. She also has some more $8 bin items, like little Kirby's, like I talked about, which is why I didn't make any. And then she has some big items like this. I have my big dragons. She has Minecraft spiders. I have my Minecraft items as well. My Moana pig too, Pua. Got these guys. I need to get my other little baby dragon out here with the others since I found him. There he is, he's so cute. Tucked in there with his little parents. Some other stuff, and then again we have our backup bookcases on the sides to kind of block us off and to lighten up the space. And Mom's back there too.
If it's stump for a dump. Jay's pretty good about that stump for a dump.
Oh, I have. And the last time he just rolled his eyes. So I didn't use that.
Good, how are you doing? Tired? Long drive for you guys?
Yeah, it's about.
Oops, I'm filming. Morning. We're all set up. It is exactly 9:55. They're opening the doors for VIPs at 9:30, but I've seen some articles and stuff in like the local news and whatnot that didn't mention that time. So I think everybody's gonna get in here in the next like 5 minutes. So hopefully it'll pick up and stuff. We've had a couple people stop by already, as in like vendors and stuff, just looking around before everything gets started. But we'll get started soon, and hopefully this will go good. But I need to get my business cards out still. It is 10:08 and I sold my first Pokemon. Squirtle is the first one to go. First item of the day, only item of the day so far. But it's only 10:08 and it's starting to get busy in here. I'm trying to be quick and quiet, but it is 11:30 and I obviously sold my Squirtle. You saw that. I sold a big one of my low cuts that I just made with a patchwork yarn. I sold my mini little. Who was that dragon pattern by? I just showed you.
Avalon Crochet.
Avalon, that was the name. Avalon Crochet's mini dragon. I sold my big toothless though, which was really exciting. And then I sold one of my Luffy mushy boys as well. So definitely the specialty stuff, which is kind of the whole point. So that's exciting. So hooray! I'll check in a minute. Mr. Dragon.
Oh wow, Stacy makes making a mess.
My mission.
Oh, your mission.
Yes.
Okay, now that guy walked away right when I started filming. It is later in the day. We have had lunch. We had pretzels with butterbeer cheese, a hot dog, some french fries. I was about to say the time. And some nachos. We shared it all. It was really good. The hotel here at the venue provided food. Not provided, but you know, they had a concession stand area. And it was actually pretty good. So it is, as Mom just showed, it is now 3:13. It is 3:13 before you check me on the time. I've sold a couple other things since we last checked in. I sold 3 snakes. I sold both of my Minecraft bees that I made last minute. I sold my Pokeball, my Charmander, and my fuzzy little ferret. So, okay. So now that it's, you know, a little after 3 in the afternoon, I'm gonna go throw some trash away, use the bathroom, check in and stuff. We're gonna be here till 5, so we have a little bit of time, but we are going to make a Joann's trip before we go home, which is exciting. Guys, look at these little booty mushrooms. They're so cute. Look at them, big chillin'. Big chillin'. And they glow in the dark. They're so cute. I'm gonna pick one out. I think I'm gonna get this one. Misfits and Mythics. It is almost 4 o'clock now. I've only sold another thing or two. Okay, and the cosplay contest is going on, so there's yelling. But I just got the cutest little mushroom guy from Misfits and Mythics. I saw this person in the Celestial Homebodies YouTube video, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that you? And she's like, yes, I was totally there at the same place. So I picked one up while I was over there because she was just so nice, so sweet, so kind, and everything's handmade, of course. And they're just the cutest little mushrooms with like little tushies, and I just think that that's really cute and adorable. So I got one of those too. But it's definitely slowing down. Most of the people are over there in the corner enjoying the cosplay show, or in the cosplay show and everything, or contest I should say. So it's like slowing down for sure, but it's making me sleepy. That's what I was gonna say. So hopefully we'll sell a couple more things whenever that show's done and everything, but we still have a little over an hour left, and then we'll be done and pack up and get out of here and maybe go look for some yarn.
We're all packed up.
Oh my gosh, you're so dramatic.
And my eyes are killing me. Can you tell how this one's really swollen? Yeah, it's very swollen because something in the venue gave me some kind of allergy. I don't know, flare up, so. Okay, anyways, we're at Joann's. Where's the sign? There it is. We're at Joann's. We're gonna go inside, see if we can find any other deals. Yarn should be, I believe everything's 50 to 70% off. So I'm thinking it's at least 50 now because that's even lower than it was the last time I was here. And hopefully they've just restocked to have a bunch of amazing things that I've just never seen before, but we'll see. Going down to business, going down to business, going down to business. It's not looking cute, it looks really sad. Oh my god, it's so empty. Nothing like the last Joann's I was in. So I did find a few things at Joann's. I found Bernat baby blanket in the color white, which if you saw my Texas recap vlog, you know that I found black. So I already had black, but I definitely needed another white. And then I have been getting really into my bucket hats and cotton yarns and such. So I found some Lily Sugar and Cream that was half off. So these were only like $2.25 each. But I found a white one because I needed another solid color to mix the stuff. I went ahead and bought a red one. I found this really pretty color called, well, it's called teal, which is what I was going to call it, but I figured they would name it something weird. But I bought this one because I don't have a color like this and it's really pretty. And then I bought my first ever cone. These are usually $16 over there, but again, everything was half off in our store, so it was only $8 for this giant cone of yarn. And I figured black would be a good color to have if I'm going to keep making bucket hats and things, or scrap hats and those kinds of things. I'm thinking of making some like scrap granny square bucket hats, and in order to do that I need a color to join them all and to border them all in, so I feel like black would be a pretty decent color for that project. So I did get all of those things I bought at the Anime Fest as well. I did buy a little mushroom boy bracelet that has a little booty on him. He's so stinking cute. I think it was like Mystical Misfits, I think was the booth name. I showed it in the video, but I ended up buying one of those little mushroom guys. And then I bought two little Lego figurines, Angel and Stitch. That's like me and my boyfriend's thing somehow, some way. And so I bought the little figurines of those. I think I'm gonna put them on my desk somewhere and keep them all cutesy in here. So yeah, that's all the things that I had bought at the market and the things that I found at Joann as well. Hi guys, so obviously I am back from the market. I am back home. I've had time to decompress a little bit and kind of rationalize everything that happened, because that show was really good for me, honestly. Now, if you're watching this video, there might be a chance that you already saw my mom's video, but I just wanted to remind everybody that my mom, who does all of my markets with me, she also posts content over here on YouTube under the tag Stacy Makes and on her socials as well. She also had a really good day at this market and always films like a different point of view kind of, and her side of things and her recap and her little stories and stuff from the market day. So if you need something else to watch, go check out her channel. Her stuff's so cute as well, so go give her a follow and support her as well. But let's get to the nitty-gritty. So I have my list pulled up here on my computer from the event. I'm gonna go through everything that I sold, give you the totals, all of that jazz, and give you all the numbers, because usually that's what everybody's here for. But the first thing that I sold during the day was pretty early on. There was a couple that came up to our booth, and the guy was like looking at my Pokemon, because I made the Turtwig, the Squirtle, and the Bulbasaur. Or no, Turtwig, Squirtle, and Charizard, or Charmander, good lord, Charmander. And they were all on like a shelf together, kind of like eye level with him. And I mean, he saw them and immediately came over and just kept looking at him, and then he'd like look at the table and then he'd look back at him. And I was like, you looking at the Pokemon? He's like, yes. He's like, do you have any other Squirtles? And I was like, nope, it's the only one. All of our stuff's handmade. We only usually make 1 or 2 of items, especially in the same colors. So like, he's the only one I have. When he's gone, he's gone. And so he kind of stood there and contemplated it for a second. And he's like, I just think I really need it. And so he was one of the first things to go, which was really exciting because he was worth $30. And he was one of my higher priced items. And again, one of the niche specific items that I made for this market in particular. So it was good to see like one of the things I specifically made for this sell right off the bat. The second thing I sold was 2 of my big loaf cats. I sold 2 total throughout the day. They weren't the same transaction, but I sold 2 of those. The patchwork one that we just made in the last video, that was like blackish and brownish with like the greeny yellowy eyes. That one's really cute, and it was personally one of my favorites anyways, so I was happy to see that one go. And then we sold another one later in the day, but the loaf cats were still a big hit. Everybody was picking them up, picking them out, trying to find one that matched their cat and stuff, and it was cool, and it definitely brought people over to our booth per usual. And again, mom made the mini loaf cats this time because I told her, I was like, I'm just gonna focus on the big ones, and I only made like 2 little bitty ones. And so she's like, I'm gonna make some cats. She's like, I'm feeling like that. And so she made like a whole lineup of mini cats. So we had a big shelf, which you saw, filled to the brim with all the big loaf cats, and then like an army of all the mini ones in front of it. And they, again, both got really good attention from this show. So I'm sure mom sold a few of those, I believe. But again, you can go check out her video to see if she sold any of hers. The next thing I sold was my little mini dragon. I tried the, oh, what's her name? Avalon Crochets. She made like a tiny dragon pattern, and so I made that one in Sweet Snuggles just to try it. It was a cute little pattern. So after I sold that mini dragon by Avalon Crochets, I thought I'd fall in love with the pattern, but unfortunately I didn't. I think it might have just been the yarn I used. I just didn't love how it turned out in that yarn, like the variegated color for the body, because all of her pictures have the solid color, and I really should have just thought about that and just done solid ones, but I might give it another try sometime soon. But I sold that little guy because he was only $12. And then I sold a big item. This was my biggest item from the day, and I am so happy that this girl fell in love with it. But I made 3 Night Fury dragons, and the one that was toothless colored with the little red fin and everything, he sold, and that girl was obsessed with him, saying that she just loved him so much, and her cosplay outfit was so cute too. Like, she was like such a nice person, and she just absolutely loved him. And then it's kind of silly because then later on in the day, people were seeing the other colors of dragons, because I have a Feels Like Bliss one, and then I had the patchwork one, and people were like, oh, do you have one that looks like Toothless? And I was like, actually I did, but he already sold. I just didn't think he would be such a popular figure for this market, but maybe that's something I need to think about and maybe make more of those in the future. I sold one of my little straw hat mushy boys. I sold 3 snakes throughout the day. All of them, I believe, were kids, and like their parents let them pick out something, and they just thought the snakes were really cool. There was one girl in particular, actually, I think she might have been the one that bought all 3 of them, but the kids loved picking them up and playing with them. But she came back, she bought the peppermint snake, like the long one. Then she came back after doing a lap and bought the other orange long one. And then she came back and she picked out like a little bitty snake that was so adorable. And she's like, they just all need friends. And I'm like, it's so cute, because she just kept stuffing her little bag that we gave her filled with snakes in it, and you could just see them in there. It was really, really cute, but she was obsessed with the snakes. The next thing I sold were 2 things to like a friend group. This girl came over and just said she absolutely had to have the little mini Minecraft bee. She loves mini things and thought it was just absolutely adorable, and she just had to have it. So she bought him, and we put him in a little bag, and then they got up and they were walking around, and then they came back, and the guy that was in their group was like, I'm sorry, she convinced me, like, I need the big Minecraft bee. So he bought my big version of it. So I guess I'm gonna have to make another one if I make a pattern, because I didn't really take a lot of pictures of those before making them. So it was really cute though, and I'm glad that they loved those little creatures. But it makes me feel like they would do well at other markets too, not just like an anime market, but I think kids would know what they are otherwise, so that would be really fun to do. I sold a Pokeball to somebody. After that, I sold another one of my Pokemon. I sold the Charmander for $30. She was obsessed with his eyes. I used some eyes from the ADHD hobbyist. They were like orangey, golden flecks, really, really pretty, perfect for Charmander. And they just fell in love with him and were like literally didn't want a bag, and they just carried him around the whole time, and it was so adorable. And the next thing I sold was my fuzzy ferret that he has like, you know, he just kind of wiggles around. He's so cute. I've had him for like 2 shows now. I made a Feels Like Bliss version and it already sold, but the bigger version finally sold at this market to a little girl, and it was so cute because she just put him over her arm and was carrying him around too. And then the last thing I sold was a Days the Dragon. That's my own pattern that I've been using a couple times. It's my little 4-legged body style, and they bought one for their friend. They were like FaceTiming their friend and showing the whole booth and being like, which one do you want? Like, what do you want? Because they couldn't get off work to come to the market itself. So she was like buying her something that was really sweet. So she bought my Days the Dragon, and it was one of my favorites because it was like that bright teal color, and that's my favorite color. And so I was just happy that they were happy, and she got to pick the perfect thing for her friend that couldn't make it, and that was also really sweet. So for totals for everything, the Squirtle was $30, the Loaf Cats were $22, and I sold 2 of those. The Mini Dragon was $12, the Toothless was $55, the Luffy Mushy Boy was $10, the Snakes are also $10, and I sold 3 of those. The Mini Minecraft Bee I priced for $15, and then the big one I priced for $22 and sold that one right after. The Pokeball was in the $8 bin, the Charmander was in the $30 price range, so the Charmander sold for $30. The Ferret was $24, and then my Days the Dragon was $25. So total, not including expenses or lunches or anything like that, I made $304 total at this market. Again, that was split between like me and my mom because my mom sells her own stuff, so this is just my half of what sold at this market. So if you're interested in what she made that did well, you can go watch her video. I always tell everybody I like to judge my markets on how well they do percentage wise. This one's kind of a tricky one to do percentage wise though, because like I said, I had $2,500 in inventory before this market, but again, it was a small booth. We couldn't display everything. We had a lot of stuff on our shelves in the back, so I mean, people could ask for them, but they weren't really like noticing them compared to the stuff that was actually on the table. So it was kind of a weird situation, but so instead of like $250, I kind of guesstimated that I had about $500 worth of inventory that either wasn't on the table or was on the shelves in the back. I would assume it was about around 500. So to guesstimate things, I'm gonna say I had $2,000 worth of inventory out and displayed, which means that I sold 15% of my inventory at this market. Honestly, it wasn't bad, especially for a spring show. Spring shows never do as well as like the holiday shows that we usually go to. So I wasn't expecting too much, but honestly, we did pretty good, especially with my mom's total and mine combined. My mom kind of reminded me that you have to remember that like we're splitting all of the profits at these things, you know? And so if I were to do these things by myself, I might have made, you know, twice as much, but again, it's just something fun for both of us to do, and to sell some of our plushies and get rid of some things, and just to have a good time and to bond and to get away from life for a weekend and make a little extra money and clear up some room in our yard stashes so we can buy some more yard. I will say out of the $304, that is before like a little bit of a food charge and before the booth fee. I know the booth fee was $125, and usually mom splits that or takes part of that out of my profits from the day and everything, and then usually Venmos me or whatever the rest of the money, since she handles a lot of that side of things. If you want a more technical point of view, again, her video will have a lot more of that, but otherwise this market went pretty good. I didn't know what to expect at all going into this, and I was really excited by it. Everybody was so nice, all of our vendors and vendor neighbors and the event itself. And I'm really happy because my boyfriend and my little brother got to stop by the booth, and they hung out for a little bit too, and we got to walk around with them and stuff. So it was a cool experience for sure. I don't know if we're going to be going back yet or not. It was kind of just something we wanted to try more or less. So I'm glad that we did it, and I'm also glad it's over with, so now I can market prep some regular animals and stuff for our next really big show too. So thank you for being here. If you watched all the way to the end, please feel free to leave a little red heart in the comments down below, since we had such a great market. If you have any questions for me about my market in general, please drop them down in the comments below. I would love to answer any questions that you guys have, and if you need anything else, you know where to find me, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.